of introducing new methods of education to the educational system in Egypt. And right now, joining us in the studios, Mr. Amr Fathi. Welcome with us, Engineer Amr Fathi, and you're an inventor of a new educational system. Would you talk to us about that?
Yes. Hi.
Sir, we need to know more about your invention.
Yeah. Hi. Good morning. Our invention was done in the year 2016. We were planning to have e-library that will contain books that are audiobooks, where users can listen to the books or read it at the same time. And each book is translated in 6 different languages: English, Arabic, French, Spanish, Russian, and German. So our plan is mainly to have our books in Egypt translated to all those languages and exported to the world, so that we reach to the maximum amount of readers to know our culture, our writers, and also our background in Egypt in all fields.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, what type of visual techniques are you using? Because we do have a lot of e-books on the internet, and
exactly.
whether PDF or scanned. But
Exactly.
what's the characteristic feature that makes your website or project different than the other?
Definitely, yeah. We are totally different than PDF files or scanned documents. Our books are actually synced with the audio, word by word or sentence by sentence. So that means, let's say, if after 15 minutes of listening to a book, you can easily spot where are you reading. While on other platforms, they don't have this feature. You can't sync the audio with text. So this is the first thing. The second thing, our platform is very advanced. It translates instantly either paragraphs or words. So that means you are interactive with the document, not just reading it from a paper to a device.
Sir, since you're inventing a new technique in learning, and what is most easier for a learner to hear a book, or to listen, or to see a book or read it?
Yeah.
Which is most catchy?
Well, we give them the choice, and we want the readers who are not, into the practice of reading, to encourage them, to give them the chance to listen to it. Especially in these days, we spend a lot of time driving. We spend a lot of time, doing multitasks, whilst checking our, personal social media or something. We can still listen to a book or while we're playing sports. So we want to let the users or readers be encouraged to always use this time in a useful thing, to get more information and important knowledge. Yeah.
Well, so is it an expensive method or technology? Can everybody access it at a reasonable price, or is it free? Tell us more about it.
Well, since I'm the one who created this, and I'm Egyptian, I'm very interested to present it to Egypt, my country, and I'm here on a visit. I actually work in Dubai, and all my business is in Dubai, and we're targeting all the countries around the world. But when I came here to Egypt, my plan was to present it to the proper channels like Ministry of Education, Ministry of Culture, to use this tool. And I'm putting it in front of them and telling them, you can use it, you can add any books you like, you can see how it can in a proper way, an exciting way, to benefit the biggest number as possible. Yeah.
Sir, Did you reach any of government officials to present your project, and what do you expect?
I did. I tried. It's very hard to present it to the right person. What happened was that when presenting it, I was guided to present it or explain it to people who are more technical, who will not be seeing the whole vision. Where will be the benefit of saving a lot of money and printing books, saving a lot of time. We can use such application to promote and guide the culture and the subjects that we want people to read and understand. Recently, this project has been picked by Harvard University as one of the top 10 startups in 2016. And on the 10th of November, we're going there to participate in the competition. Maybe we will win, maybe we will be #1 startup in 2016 around the world. That's going to be great news. So what I want to say is, personally, I want to present it to the country and see how they can benefit from it.
Well, we will continue with you, Mr. Amr, but first we have to do a phone call. Dina, would you like to start?
Now we are moving to Linda Abdelatif. We are joined over the phone by Linda Abdelatif from Sharm el-Sheikh. Hello, Linda. Good morning. Hello? Linda? Linda, good morning.
Good morning.
Linda, what's the agenda of the conference today?
Well, today it is the second day of the National Youth Conference that is held under the auspices and with the attendance of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Now, around 15 minutes from now, the second day will kick off with a session that will be discussing the effects of cinema and drama in shaping awareness for youth. And this will be followed actually by a number of sessions and workshops that will cover a wide variety of topics and fields. And those fields actually are the education and scientific research, political participation, cultural identity and religious dialogue, economy and entrepreneurship as well. Now, actually, there will be a huge number of topics that will be tackled on those fields, and they will include, for example, just to give you an idea, for example, the effect of social media in the formation of the youth public opinion, another session on illegal migration. The day will also include holding workshops, for example, on, let's say, the scientific research in the field of medicine, and there will be a workshop on industry and housing and how we can use scientific research in the fields of medicine, industry and housing. As I mentioned, another topic as well will be on information security and privacy protection. Also, the topics covered over the day will include increasing the political participation of youth. Also, the role of political parties in developing political participation of youth will be discussed. Another session as well on fighting terrorism, and another session on the role of Azhar in renewing religious dialogue. And there will be a session throughout the day as well on the youth vision, on many other topics now. So actually, the agenda of today is very full, and as we've seen yesterday, the workshops focus on the fields that I've mentioned, and they are the scientific research, political participation, cultural identity, religious dialogue, economy, and entrepreneurship. And within that holds a huge number of topics that tackle different aspects in regards to those fields.
Linda, thank you very much. Linda Abdelatif from Sharm el-Sheikh, and we continue with Mr. Amr Fathi. Well, Mr. Amr, you were talking to us about the new e-learning technique and your platform. You were talking about its competition in Harvard. Now, I'd like to ask you in general, do you feel that the youth now are up to learning or reading books, even if it's on the internet? Because usually people tend to go to quick machines or maybe the Wikipedia or this and that, and that's about it. But usually to read hundreds of pages or dozens of pages on the internet, it's not as common as it used to be. So do you feel that it will be, or how is it picking up? Do you feel that people will start reading books again through your e-method?
You want to say that they prefer to watch a movie?
Yes,
Rather than
exactly.
reading a book.
Yes, they watch movies, or even they get the fast info from Facebook, from any of the social media, from in couple of lines. I don't find them anymore going into pages and pages to get an information. You know, Dina?
Yeah, that's true.
I totally agree, and that's why we are doing this. That's why we're trying to make reading more entertaining, more catchy, and more easier to reach. So let's say in our books, we are trying to add more features to make it more usable for parents, for example. We have each story, as I mentioned, translated to 6 languages, so he can pick his favorite language, and each page is actually having illustrations, so in very high quality. So let's say if we're talking about children now, we will let him be interested in looking at the image while listening to the book or reading it. So it's going to be more entertaining. We're trying to provide this. Another feature that I think will be very exciting for parents and even Ministry of Education, that we are having a quiz after each chapter or each book. So a simple quiz with multiple choice to pick from, and it can help parents know which books did their children read, can help in education and schools, the teachers know which books did the students read, and if they answered the quiz, what were the results. It's a way of practice, and if it's done regularly, it will be a habit, and it can help a lot and save a lot of time, money in printing, and it will be accurate because the statistics is all in our hand.
But many students are obliged to buy a tab, which is also expensive
Yes.
for them. I mean, for the
Average,
governmental
Yeah.
student.
I agree. See, what we're providing is the application or the software, so it works on any device. So if he have a smartphone, if the house have a tablet, that will help. Of course, we understand that it cannot be implemented in the first day 100%. If we cover a certain percentage, like 10 or 20% of students, that's going to be great, especially that it works on all devices. And the other thing, if we calculate the amount of money that is saved from printing books or buying books, definitely this is going to be affordable and reasonable compared to buying books every year and paying for that.
Now, we'd like to go to a quick break. Mr. Amr Fathi will go to a quick break, but we'll be back with more and to continue our interview with Engineer Amr Fathi, so stay tuned.
قررت أن يكون العام 2016 عاما للشباب المصري. أصدرت حزمة من القرارات والتوجيهات: إطلاق البرنامج الرئاسي لتأهيل الشباب للقيادة، إطلاق مشروع بنك المعرفة المصري، دعم وتنمية المشروعات الصغيرة والمتوسطة، تخفيف أعباء خدمة القروض عن كاهل الشباب المصري، انتهاء من تنفيذ بناء 145 ألف وحدة سكنية بالإسكان الاجتماعي للشباب خلال عام 2016، تحديث المناهج التعليمية لجميع المراحل الدراسية، توسع في النشاط الرياضي والارتفاع بمستوى اللياقة البدنية للشباب المصري، إحياء دور قصور الثقافة وإقامة المسابقات الفنية، إطلاق منتدى للحوار مع الشباب. لا تتخلوا عن تجربتكم، تمسكوا بوطنكم، تمسكوا بالأخلاق وصحيح الدين، تسلحوا بالعلم وواكبوا العصر، وبقوة شبابها ستحيا مصر. تحيا مصر، تحيا مصر.
we're continuing with Mr. Amr Fathi, and welcome back, talking about your educational platform. I'd like to ask you, apart from that, because as a young inventor, and right now we have Egypt's National Youth Conference in Sharm el-Sheikh, with around 3,000 youth participating, including talks in it will be about education and even about political participation of the youth, and even participating in the municipalities. How do you see the initiative? How do you see the first day so far that was yesterday?
Well, it's a great start. I think just giving the chance for young inventors and young participants to be part of such big events, and to communicate between them and each other, and also should be support from ministries and from even investors if they're available there. So that's a great event, and like President said yesterday, that is going to be a yearly event, and that will give a great boost and will encourage a lot all the people with great ideas to come and participate every year.
Sir, I want you to repeat what you said off air, that you're here in Egypt for a vacation. You're working mainly in Dubai, and you're here in Egypt for vacation, giving the government a present, which is your program, which is e-learning program.
Yeah.
So what are the obstacles that you're facing right now?
I was trying to reach, to present the application. It's as simple as a library where they can add any book they want, any books they like to add, and to target any target audience they would like. So it's a platform, or it's a tool, I can call it as a tool, where it can be used to save them a lot of money if they will use other platforms to do the same thing. Right now, if we use it, for example, in, let's say, tourism, we can use this application to all tourists who are visiting Egypt to find everything about Egypt in their own language. So if he's Japanese, he can pick his language and he will find all the places in Egypt, the ancient places, the history, the personal, everything about Egypt he can find in an interesting way, in a very high quality books, audio books also, so he can listen to it. We can do this. And
yeah, I need you to tell us what are the obstacles that you're facing in contacting the government.
Yeah, it's just reaching the right person and presenting it myself, because most of them request a presentation to be sent as a file, and usually there is no reply. So what happens is this is a good chance for a tool that can be used, and it's just presented through the wrong channels.
Now, I'm quite curious about the books. So now, as an administrator or an admin to that program, you upload all these books, or can I, as a user, upload a book that I don't understand its language and it gets translated? How does it work?
Yeah, no, right now we're having the books to be totally controlled. We want to have quality content, but in the future we're planning to have this platform to be more interactive. So users will be able to, a writer, for example, who want to be famous, he wants to present his books to the public, we can help in this, but this is in the future. Right now we are in control to maintain the quality of the content. Yeah.
Well, through Nile TV International, we are talking to whoever, to May, who's concerned.
Yeah.
I want your voice to reach them.
Thank you.
You are Egyptian, coming from Dubai with a present to the government in order to develop the educational system in Egypt using all the technological means. And as the president yesterday said, that we need to develop the communities in order to enhance education, young skills and talent. So I'm talking to whoever is responsible. We have an inventor here who wants to reach to any official in the government to present your application and your new technique of learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Mr. Amr, I'd like also to ask you about your choice of books now to upload hundreds and hundreds of books. Is it, do you have a big team? How do you do such a choice? How do you manage to find the big names? Because there are certain books which we know about that they are a must, but then other books might be important, but we don't know much about it. That there are so many books in this world,
Yeah.
in so many fields. So the criteria and how are you uploading these books?
Well, we had to start from a point. This is our first library. We're planning to have a specialized library for each subject. So this one is for children. The next one is going to be for history. After that, we're going to have for tourism. So we're going to have specialized libraries so that when you enter this library, you know what you're going to find, and also to be able to guide the readers and not to make them be lost. Like you exactly what you said is true, that there is hundreds of thousands and millions of books out there, and we want to give the best and to let them focus about it. So right now, each book gets translated by a person, not by computer, by a person who's native. So if you will find a Spanish translation, it's by a Spanish person, translated by a Spanish person, and also the voiceover. The voiceover, if you find somebody talking, it will be native. It will be with the proper and correct accent. So we are a big team. We are about 50 people between developers of the application and between all the translators and the narrators and also the artists who draws. We have 12 artists from around the world. So we have from Russia, from Serbia, from India, and we have different styles that makes it more interesting. So it takes time. It takes a lot of effort to produce one book, but we believe if we will have the chance to know what is needed from the market, we will keep on publishing more and more books, depending on the market request.
Sir, do you believe that the future is for the technology, not for the books anymore?
Well, of course, books have its own magic, and I love it myself. I love books, but we are trying not to replace books. We are just giving another alternative. We're another tool that, for example, if somebody in the airport and want to waste, he has 2 hours waiting for his plane or something, he can benefit this time by reading a book. So we are just giving a tool that can help, but definitely I don't believe that it's going to replace. It's just another tool that helps.
Well, Mr. Amr, I'd like also to ask you concerning these books. How did you find the reaction of, let's say, those who look at your platform? So far, the visitors of your platform, what's the feedback so far? What was the feedback of this? You must have had like a sample for studying at the beginning before you launched your project. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, well, we are focusing right now in public domain books. So we're talking about books that are famous. You will find Oliver Twist. You will have Alice in Wonderland. All these books are very famous. We all know them. We all like them. But what we have done is we had our writers to rewrite them in a simple way. So let's say if a book is 150 pages, we summarize it in 10 pages, so to make it more entertaining. Now the feedback was great because, especially in the part of illustration, everybody who contacted us or gave us a feedback, they had a feedback about the illustration. They they always told us that we didn't expect very high quality, and you will be surprised to know that maybe one book takes a month and a half just to have illustration done. So a lot of effort is done. We want to bring quality, not just quantity. It's very easy just to upload a huge number of books, and that's easy. But we want to do something that have quality in it.
So what's your estimation for this younger generation? How do you see it?
It will be very tough to generalize. I see they're very clever. They're using all the technology, and this is great. But we have to, as much as we can, see where is their interest and go to them. Because if we let them use, let's say, social media or any online tool like websites and other things, the problem is we are not sure what information they are getting. But if we present to them useful information and something that will add to their career and to their personality, I think that we will be in a good position. But right now, because it is totally open to the whole world, you are not sure what content is delivered to them and what information is delivered to them. That's the only problem.
So how long have you been working in Dubai? Have you left Egypt recently?
I've been there since 2000, so almost 16 years or 17
Wow.
years. Yeah,
That's a lot.
and my work is mainly in digital marketing. So this is not far from what I know and at work. And also I studied film directing as a hobby. So everything related to illustration and voiceover and all these things are not new for me. It's part of my hobby. So it helped a lot with this project.
But the first question will pop in anyone's mind. Why didn't you present your project to authorities in Dubai, for example?
We will. We just finished, completed the project just a month ago. We're here, and once I'm back after a week, we will present it. And we already have ties with book fair in Abu Dhabi and in other libraries in universities. So yeah, we're already there.
Yeah. Now, for you, what's your next step now? Now you've come to Egypt, you're trying to offer your present to the government. What's the next step?
My wish is, before I leave Egypt, that I would tie with the book fair of Egypt. The coming book fair after a few months, 3 months, I think. If I was planning or willing to give the library with every single person who's entering the book fair. So they will have an access to, but by that time more than 300 books or something. And I wanted to see with the government here what books they want to present to their readers. So imagine every single person entering will have access for a whole year, and he can read the books that we want to present to them in all languages. So he can learn languages, he will read a new book, and he will not pay a penny. So why not do this?
What other interesting things about your invention that will encourage any student, for example, to use it, or any normal citizen want to use? What's catchy about your invention?
Other than the point that you can listen to it anywhere and anytime, it also gives you a result of what you have read, so you can monitor your reading skills and see how many hours did you read and which books did you read, and it's very organized. So I think after a while users will enjoy just having it as a tool to organize their reading, and that's gonna add more interest for users to practice it and use it.
Now, that's a big team, having 50 members, and probably as you expand the languages and the domains and the
Yes.
fields, you'll be expanding
Definitely.
also your venture. Yes. Now, how did you come around to get them all together? Like, was it through work, through acquaintance? Did you have an ad? How did you manage to collect such a huge team?
Hiring people who are specialized now through online became
It's
easy.
all online.
No,
They're
no,
not
no.
with you in Dubai.
No. Some are in Dubai and some are offline. But what I want to say is hiring people and posting the jobs online is in this time it became very easy. I wanted to find artists, for example, from Egypt, but I wasn't lucky. I didn't find. This is one thing. Most Egyptians who have talents, they have to present their talents online.
Okay, and now we have an interview with the Sahar Nasr, Minister of International Cooperation, with Linda Abdul Latif.
Being joined right now by Minister of International Cooperation, Dr. Sahar Nasr. Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us today in Nile TV.
It's lovely to be with you here today in the youth conference.
Could you please talk to us a little bit more about the workshop that you'll be participating in?
The workshop that I will be participating in is
interview, we were talking about how did you manage to gather such a large amount of crew or team, and you were talking about that some of them are through the internet, others are with you in Dubai, and you mentioned that you wanted to employ more illustrators from Egypt. So would you continue what you were saying?
Yeah, I was trying to say that hiring talents now is very easy online. And I was very optimistic to find talents like voiceover and illustration through in Egypt, because Egypt is very rich with such talents. But unfortunately, it seems that the talents are not knowing the channels how they can present their talents online. So this is a great way for them to increase their income, to present their talents and deliver it to all over the world. But in the Egyptian market, in this part, I didn't find it using those online tools in a strong way.
Yeah. Sir, if you're talking about your invention and your project, how much did it cost so far?
Oh, it's the cost is varying between many things, between the development itself of the programming of it, because we have Android and iOS, and we also have the production of the books itself, plus the time of the staff, which have salaries that are paid monthly. So the amount itself I cannot mention exactly, but it's a lot. It's a lot, but we believe it's a very strong start, and we have a final product that we can use right now to add any amount of books from any language and target any audience. Right now, we're ready for that.
I'm quite interested in the illustrations. Now, you've mentioned that you have a variety of illustrations from different cultures. Now, how do you choose which person or which individual would do which story, and the choice of the illustrations themselves?
That's a great question, actually. Each story you will find that is different than the other. So you will find a novel, you will find something about animals, you will find something from ancient Greece, for example. So each one is totally different. So for I got artists who have the style of Michelangelo and Da Vinci, and this style that draws in very high quality and very attractive And it's not just for children, it's also for old people. Now, in other stories, like for animals, you know, the famous stories that are the main characters are animals, I had more cartoonish style, and there are certain artists who can do that in a certain way. Well, exactly what you said. I had the chance to choose the right artist for the right story, and that's what you're going to find in my application.
Well, we still need to learn more about your invention, but we have to thank you for today, and we'll be, hopefully you'll keep us posted with your latest news.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Mr. Amr Fathi, and by this we come to the end of this episode of Breakfast Show. But first of all, I have to thank my colleague. Thank you very much, Dina Mamdouh.
Thank you, Rasha.
Thank you very much, and stay tuned for more coming up on Nile TV International, and also make sure to follow us on Breakfast Show tomorrow with a new crew. Until then, have a good day.